How's everyone doing? Um,
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm going
Happy
to turn that
Friday.
off. So, I'm back.
Yay!
She says yay on
I mean-
camera, but to be honest, I caused some problems when I went away,
Which is why, yay, you're back.
but I also caused a different kind of problem when I returned. So, I've noticed that Princess Craft does rather well even in my absence, so that's a plus. But
Did you share it to the rally pages?
no,
Sorry,
I don't.
okay,
I don't have the. I
Okay.
can. I'm
Continue.
maxed out on how many places I could share it.
That's fair.
So we're live streaming on Princess Craft's Facebook page. We're live streaming on the RV Small Talk Podcast Facebook page. We're live streaming on the RV Small Talk community group page on Facebook, and we're live streaming to the RV Small Talk YouTube channel. So wherever you are, if you are joining us, please tell us who you are, where you are, and where you're watching. That would be super handy. Now, PJ is going to be joining us here soon. She is
You
doing-
know, she's in charge of this place, so sometimes she has to do things.
Yeah, she's doing boss stuff right now.
But she's being a-
She was right here when I pushed go live the first time. And then right in front of us, I can't turn the camera around, right in front of us is a glass window. So we saw someone come up, and so a conversation you got. Anyways, welcome everybody. I'm Clint. This is Lindsay. That will be PJ when she's able to return
Yeah.
from whatever
There's
conversation.
PJ.
And hey, look,
It's
and
about her size,
take
right?
a look. It's an A-liner.
Ooh, reppin' A-liner.
So, any of you A-liner folks, there you go. Very cool. And I am so glad to be back. It was actually pretty horrible sitting at home, dealing with and doing nothing with COVID. So, I'm back. Hi, everybody. Hey, Dana in Oklahoma City.
That's what OKC is, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah,
All right.
see. So, hi.
Where are you going?
Well, because the camera's on and that's what I do. I probably don't need to yell. If I don't need to yell, let me know. Sorry. So, hi everybody. Let us know where you are and where you're from. We're going to talk water, particularly freshwater kind of talking this week, just as something to talk about. Hey, Rocky.
Hey, Rocky, where are you?
Yeah. So, Lindsay,
Yes.
let's start off with the topic's kind of fresh water.
Okay.
Do you drink enough water anyways?
I'm actually a really good water drinker.
You're a good water drinker.
Yeah.
I've become pretty decent at it.
I'm really good at it because I used to not be good at it.
Uh-huh.
And then when I started drinking a lot of water, I mean, it's like one of those things, like sometimes you have to take vitamins for a while to feel their effect, or sometimes you have to do yoga for a while before you can touch your toes. But water, oh man.
Okay, you mentioned two things there that I have to unpack. Okay, vitamins for you to feel their effect. The only vitamin I ever felt their effect were Flintstones vitamins, and the effect was this is pretty much candy.
Yabba dabba
Yeah. And then the hey Terry, good to have
do.
you.
2 Oklahomans.
Mm-hmm. Reppin' Oklahoma's in the house.
But really, when you drink enough water, you immediately feel better.
No, I immediately have to go pee.
Yes. Okay, that's the only downside. But yeah. Anyway, I'm really, really good at drinking water. I'm a huge water drinker. I have my huge yellow bee Yeti that everybody sees around
Why is that
here.
not out here so they can see it?
Because I haven't finished my chai yet. And I fill that up a lot.
The other thing you mentioned was something about touching your toes.
Well, you're really tall. That might not be a thing.
No, I send a note to my toes every month or so just
Stop.
to check in with them, but I have not.
If you
touched
did
my
some
toes
yoga,
in a while.
maybe you could touch them.
I eat yogurt. That's
Why
about
are we
the best I
talking
can
about
do.
this?
I don't know. You mentioned okay. So me, I am not naturally a good water drinker, straight water, but I have become more so in recent years. But I have noticed when we're at our rallies or just camping with friends and family, I still see a lot of the Cokes come out. A lot of the, well, Cokes, beer, wine, and all that. So I wonder if you're
Beer.
watching,
Beer.
do you take in enough just straight fresh water while you're camping? Because I wonder if we're running around all dehydrated at the campsite.
It's something I try to teach my kids, especially when we're out and about. Because at home, I feel like it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at a campsite or like at an event, everything else sounds better, right?
Right.
You're like, oh, I'm camping. I'm going to drink something special. I don't know.
Right, right.
It just makes more sense to not drink water, but
So where's your stance on, now I understand we all have a hankering for the sugary drinks and all that, but where's your stance on just like a straight non-sweetened tea of some sort? Is that, to your body, you feel like that's about the same thing as water?
no.
Nope. Nope, not the same benefit.
No.
Okay.
You talk about like iced tea?
Yeah, well, even if it's a hot tea, just if it has anything in it, leaves or beans, beans being coffee.
No, I mean, it's kind of the same. I've always wondered if sparkling water, like the unsweetened sparkling water, like Topo Chico, like, does that hydrate you as much as regular water? Because it has, like,
Hey, Mike's here.
hey, Mike,
He's got a point.
just enough to balance the alcohol. You know, this is important. If you want to keep drinking alcohol, you have to keep drinking water. So,
And I feel like that's
kind
actually
of a
true
win-win.
for coffee too, because coffee dehydrates most people, I think. I'm not sure that tea does. I'm not sure.
I'm a tea person too, Terry. I'm not a huge coffee person. Don't tell PJ. She might disown me or try to convince me that I'm not her daughter. But no, it's chai for me. It's, you know, all the teas.
Well, one time Lindsay made the mistake of accidentally grabbing my cup somewhere and took a big old swig of unsweetened tea, and she was not impressed.
Ugh. I'm from Texas and I hate like iced tea, like sweet tea. I need like flavor in my tea, even if it's some chamomile.
All right.
Yeah.
Normal sugar or the stevia drops and stuff like that.
Yeah, stevia drops are gross.
Okay.
If we're gonna have sugar drinks, then give me real sugar.
There'll be sugar.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, so some of the issues that we've seen, and maybe you've seen them too, at state parks, national parks, just private campgrounds and stuff like that. Some of the problems that we've seen with fresh water, they're your run-of-the-mill things that you always hear. Water pressure. Now, it's annoying when the water pressure is too low. That's always annoying, whether you're home or at the RV park. But what we've seen probably more through here, just because of our service department, is extremely high, like over the top water pressure
And
that it blows out all.
like damage your camper. Yeah.
Right. So, have any of you who are joining us today run across water pressure issues, low or high, wherever you're camping? So, if you've run across low or high water pressure, just annoying low or dangerous high, let us know in the comments. And did you find out? Did you catch it before it damaged your RV? Did you catch high water pressure before it damaged your RV?
Now, I know that here we just like spout over and over again that you never, ever, ever want to use your, water
Mhm.
from the hose without a water pressure
Straight from the
regulator.
faucet. Yeah. Always want to use a water pressure regulator. And most of the ones that we see here are max pressure is about 70 or 80 psi. But I've seen some trailers here. I don't know if it's Taxa or someone else. Someone that we carry here, they mark on their trailer, the little warning sticker,
Uh-huh.
that it's been tested and it's able to handle up to like 100 psi or something like that.
So I guess
Which-
it just has to do with whatever, like
The
the
fittings.
hoses that they're using.
Yeah, but man, I don't think I would even test it.
The
I think 70 psi is
Brandenburgers-
enough.
Yeah, I mean, why?
You're camping, so
But
I think the thing that gets me, everyone likes water pressure for washing your hair and washing your hands. That spray is satisfying, but you're camping, so protect
But
your
you're
equipment.
camping.
Yeah, so protect your equipment, and be okay with a safe 70, maybe 80 psi.
And okay, I don't know much about this, so you might have to correct me. I hear that one of the first things that most people replace when they buy a trailer is the shower head, and they replace it with one that gets more.
Flow.
Sorry,
In case you
They're
that big window that we
they're
mentioned is on
trying
the
to
other side of the camera.
distract me.
Their employees are out there dancing. on the other side, so.
Yeah, to get more water pressure. So does that? Okay, so if the water pressure is regulated going into the camper, then it goes through the camper, it comes out the shower head. If you change that shower head, you could then apply more pressure at that point from the shower head.
I wonder how that works, but it's cool.
But that's what I hear people replacing. But if you want more water pressure, then isn't that why you get a water pressure regulator, to have less?
Yeah, maybe if you have water pressure regulator into the camper, but the actual shower head itself, the last stop for the water before it
Right.
comes out, can
Pressurize.
pressurize back again,
Right.
and it can't backflow that pressure. If it can't backflow that pressure,
Then
brilliant.
it's fine.
Yeah, brilliant.
I mean,
Maybe they make faucets like that too for your kitchen sink.
I don't want more pressure. That's when like you try to wash a spoon and like everything's flooded.
Right, right.
I don't need more pressure at the sink.
Not just a
at the
spoon,
shower.
but sometimes that sink is kind of. Some of the RV sinks aren't as deep as residential, and that alone would cause
Yeah.
a wet shirt when you're trying to wash things.
We don't need
things like that.
pressurized sink water.
And for me, because even at home, the countertop is pelvis level.
Look who's here.
So.
Hi, I got to make it.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
The cup was you, but I guess I could take that back now.
Oh, yeah, you can have your cup back.
You're much cuter.
Oh,
So-
thank
So, PJ, do you drink enough water at the campsite?
you. I don't, because I don't trust the water.
Oh.
Well, even if you brought water, are
No.
you good at taking in enough
She
water?
doesn't trust water.
No.
No, she's
I
not.
like really good, clean water.
Uh-huh.
So I usually opt for another type of liquid, even if it's just lemonade or just lemonade.
She wants
you
to
know.
choose the sediments in her
Lemonade's
water.
made
That's
with
right.
water, you know.
And I
right?
do not like carbonated drinks, so that's a limitation. I mean, I can drink one, but it's not my drink of choice. Coffee is my drink of choice, but at some point
We
you have to switch
know.
to something else. So
Now, the two of us, we like a good cold Topo Chico in the summer. Are you with
Oh,
Topo
yeah,
Chico?
I'll drink a Topo, absolutely.
Like if there's an option amongst a few, would it be the one you'd grab?
Mm-hmm. But if it's
We have a YouTube watcher.
Sweet.
but if it's Miller time, I'm drinking a beer.
Aha.
So
Okay.
that is my evening drink of choice at a campsite. It's just beer is good at a campsite. It just feels outdoorsy,
Okay. Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, we already had this discussion.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to backtrack and bringing you in and getting your answer.
We already talked
Well,
about how
doesn't
good
anybody out
beer
there?
is. Yes. Yeah, tea, beer. I mean, you know.
So again, if you're joining us, and when I go ahead and jump in the comment section so that we can see it pop up, we can put your comment on the screen. But tell us, do you drink enough water while you're camping, or are you like most of us? We tend towards the other things. Now we talked about the water pressure issue that we oftentimes run into at state parks or
Yes.
private campgrounds and all that, and how we kind of play it safe, where we're just like, because I mentioned Taxa, I think it's Taxa. Their campers are rated for even 100 psi, and
Yes.
that can hardly even fathom going there. I would still max out at 70 or 80 psi.
And that is way above what's recommended.
Isn't
Uh-huh.
it 30 to 50 or something?
Yeah.
30 to 60?
40 to 60.
40 to 60.
Okay. There's my pile of tricks.
Ah, she
I
brought
know,
a pile
I
of
kept
tricks
looking
before she had to
see.
leave.
I couldn't find a water pressure regulator.
Except for the reality is we got a lot of stuff down here.
You can't see it, but it's down
No.
there.
Here- oh, here it is.
Oh.
So this is. sorry, this is a water pressure regulator. We're gonna get this better so I have space up here. But that is a 90-degree water pressure regulator.
Oh, wrong camera.
Do you want that camera?
Yeah,
I can
where's
put
the
that
camera?
Here we go. Watch. It's not focusing because it still sees faces.
Closer to your.
There it is.
There you are. So that's a water pressure regulator that is at an angle because, of course, your hydrant's going to be coming straight at you, and then it curves down. It gets a little kink in it.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
a Berkey. I want a Berkey.
I put
I
that
may
up there.
try it. My husband is pushing back because of counter space, but I think I can put it on a table outside and be just fine. So let's keep Berkeys in mind. I want to hear from somebody who has one.
Yeah, anyone who has any experience with some of these things that we've been considering but haven't actually dived into ourselves, let us know what you like and what you don't like. I like the 90-degree because
That's the one I have on my
it's,
camper.
if you're going to go trailer side of your hose for water pressure regulator, which is not my favorite, I prefer to put the water pressure regulator on the faucet. Because I want less weight on the trailer whatsoever. 90 degrees is good because it kind of has a better angle. But also, a lot of water hoses, freshwater hoses, you want to adjust the pressure before it goes through it.
I know, Angela.
Right.
I want that 1.5 gallon one.
So here's,
Yeah, you want to put the water pressure regulator on the
On the
spigot
hydrant,
side.
if you can.
if you
Yeah.
can, yeah.
And sometimes the hydrant comes straight out, so this makes good sense. So the hose comes down.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's
It
nice
goes
to
down. Yeah.
it's nice to put it on your camper because then the hose doesn't come out and kink that way.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the hydrant as to where I put it,
Yeah.
when I have one of these. The straight one, they make straight ones and they work
Yeah.
fine. They also make plastic versions, and you may not know that water pressure regulators actually get bad. So
They can, yeah.
if you've got one that you've had for a long time, particularly if it's plastic, just replace it.
You know,
And-
one reason that they go bad, particularly with plastic, is oftentimes they are in line before a filter, so all that sediment hasn't been filtered out yet. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like running constantly, almost like sandpaper.
That's right.
Yeah.
Through it?
makes
Through
sense.
something.
Mhm.
And this is a 50 to 55 psi. I have heard people recently say, I don't run pressure regulators because they said the campsite where I usually go says they just run it at 40 all the time. They have it set at 40.
Yeah.
But they can't regulate what's coming into your camper.
And the
So,
more
be
people who are
safe.
hooked up to it, using it, we've all been at a gas station. When there's no one there, that pump fills your tank really fast. But if the gas station is full and everyone's cranking, then it pumps it slower. Same sort of thing. If you're at an RV site and they at the counter says it's always 40 psi. First off, it's hard to take someone at their word, and that stuff changes.
Mhm.
But also more trailers or fewer trailers in the park will change. You know what you're getting at the
Mhm.
spout.
Well, I think it's kind of like a surge protector, right?
Uh-huh.
What park is going to say, "Oh, by the way, we have bad wiring." You know, you buy a surge
And they
protector.
know they do.
I know.
And they know they do.
You
Hey,
buy-
South Carolina.
Ooh, fun, South Carolina. Yeah, you buy a surge protector to protect your camper.
Right.
Against an unplanned emergency.
Right. So
And
water
here's an-
pressure regulators, kind of the same thing.
Here's
Yes.
another thing I
Yes.
think about at campgrounds. You know how when you go fill up your car at a gas station, they say, don't fill up when the truck is pumping new gas in, when the gas truck is there loading the gas station.
Yeah.
They say
Because
that?
they do say that.
Oh.
Because it swirls up the gas and all the sediment and trash on the bottom comes up.
Swirling
it's
sounds
so
like so much fun,
technical.
though.
So technical.
Yeah, so you could get more debris in your gas. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
And which
I don't know if that's true or
which
not.
your vehicle
but
has a fuel filter, but anything that's a filter eventually clogs.
Do you really want it in your fuel filter?
No.
But here's the thing I think about. If I'm at a campsite and their water levels are low in their well or their reservoirs,
Mm-hmm.
all the trash is going to go to the bottom. So if I have something,
Gravity? What?
If I have a water reservoir that's full, it's probably pulling off the top, and I don't know. I don't know how true this is. It may be my neuroses, but I have seen chunks of things come out of water hydrants.
Ew.
Most
Yeah.
of the time when I see chunks, it's like little bits of rust, or like
Yeah, who
like,
knows?
like a
I don't
scab
know
of
what it
rust
is.
coming through the pipe.
Or it
Same
comes,
chunks
or
and
it comes out and it
scabs.
takes 5 minutes to get clear.
Uh-huh.
Then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, is this mineral deposits
Yeah.
or what?
You know what's interesting?
I just don't
A scab, this color of a scab is because it has iron in it, and it has
Yeah,
oxidizing rust.
I don't need to talk. Well, let's not compare water with scabs.
Well,
Stop.
I thought it was interesting.
Moving on.
Rocky's
y'all.
gonna see us at the Tiny Trailer Rally. I hope so,
Hey,
Rocky. Go
Rocky.
sign up, and anybody else who's listening, Tiny Trailer Rally. The registration is up. We have almost 30 people attend, or 30 campers attending already.
Mhm.
So no doubt it's gonna fill up. Texas Tiny Trailer Rally.com.
Sure.
So,
And that's the
move on.
very last weekend of April. It's the weekend that splits April and
Yeah,
May.
it's April 28th to May 2nd, I think. I can't remember.
And it's at a wonderful campground in
Bandera.
in Bandera. So look for it. Join us. We all three plan on being there.
It'll
so,
be exciting.
so let's talk about the
What else we
settlement that does come through water hoses at campgrounds. So unless you like floaties at the top of your water, in the middle of your water, or at the bottom of your cup, then I need to put this up again. Sorry.
It's okay, I'm getting an arm workout.
We love filters. Now, this doesn't really filter out necessarily if there's a chemical necessarily in it, but it does get sand and other minerals up to certain. You'd have to read the packaging, what kind of microns. It can filter out certain bacterias and
Well,
things like that.
I can certainly read that. Aluminum, bacteria, bad taste,
Bad
cadmium,
taste.
chlorine, fungus,
Uh-huh.
heavy metals, hydrogen sulfide,
Mhm.
yada 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 yada. Goes on to mercury, mold, odor, turbidity,
Ooh,
Yeah.
turbidity,
Cloudiness.
which is cloudiness. Yep.
Cloudiness.
Yep.
And sediment.
I need to put one of these on the ranch house because you just described all the things coming out of the well.
Well, this or a campsite well.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So this is a throwaway filter. You're used to seeing these probably in a smaller size.
Uh-huh.
This is the XL version, so it just lasts longer. But this is the same as a carbon filter like you would find on a Brita water pitcher. If you just have one on your
Which does
counter
an
and you just
admirable
filter.
job in your camping.
It takes the big things out
Uh-huh.
and it takes some of the chlorine out so it doesn't smell so bad.
Is that a one-time use or is that like a season?
It is not a one-time use. It's a
It's
seasonal
a season-
use.
So
Yeah.
these run what? Those two models that you brought up there.
This one's $39.
I mean,
Oh,
for
yeah,
a whole
that's it?
season of camping, it's a
Yeah.
no-brainer.
Uh,
I want one.
large capacity lasts entire season.
Okay.
So if you camp every weekend, I would use 2 every year. But you know,
Yes.
it's gonna do well if all you need is to keep the really bad stuff out. But if you want to go up to this one, actually you have to have has the
That looks like
case and a
a
replaceable
residential one
filter.
almost, like what
This
you would
is-
find under a sink inside someone's house.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm gonna get to the English part of it only because I that's
You know
the only way I'm
Spanish?
helping. So this one goes down to, if it doesn't say how many microns it goes down to, then it's just a carbon filter usually.
Which is mostly
So-
just dealing with the smell and the taste,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So this is a level 1, which is basic filtration. They have bigger ones.
Uh-huh.
And you can get filters like this down to 0.5 microns.
Okay.
So that is going to be similar to one of the modules that you might put
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
a kitchen sink or might put underneath. Sorry, I always try to
It's
look
all right,
at where
I'm
everything
here to
is.
help.
Thank you. So you can look for that in a filter that looks much more like this.
Okay, may I see the diagram on that? So it looks like they're putting it, they don't show a water pressure regulator on this diagram right there. It's not gonna work because, here we go. If I turn it sideways so we can't see everybody, there. On that diagram there, it doesn't show a water pressure regulator. I would put water pressure regulator at the faucet and then maybe this would be closer to the camper, on the camper side of the freshwater hose, or would you go straight water pressure regulator? This
I would put it
hose?
close to the hydrant.
Okay.
I would put it close to the hydrant. And it goes up to 60 gallons a minute is how they average it right there. So,
Okay.
but 40 would do fine. It's just going to slow it down.
Okay.
Everybody uses a water pressure regulator, right? Everybody?
Everybody raise your hand. Find the little emoji. Raise your hand.
Yeah, you want to do that. And, you know, the biggest reason people don't want to use a water pressure regulator is because they say, you know, then our water pressure is so bad. And the place that you see it the most is in the shower.
Okay, so we actually had a question about this before you stepped out, or when you stepped out.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about how most people say that one of the first things that they replace when they get their camper is the shower head.
Yes.
So we were wondering if it was okay to use a water pressure regulator.
What did you?
I tried.
Were you trying to pick that up with your
There's so many
feet?
boxes. Seriously? So if you have a water pressure regulator, it will reduce the water pressure going into your camper,
Mhm.
and then when it gets to your shower head, you can then increase the water pressure without hurting it.
Yes,
that how
but
it works?
no,
Oh.
you don't increase the water.
We was wrong.
Yes, it's okay, but that's not really what happens.
Okay.
It's all about flow. If you have a hole this big, then, you know, if you pour a gallon a minute through it, it's not going to be very high pressure, right? If you have a hole this big and you push a gallon a minute through it, there's going to be a lot of pressure in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the one that we like the best, and we have a lot of people here. You have to switch views, Clint.
Oh, hold on. I'm
Come
out
on,
of practice,
dude.
y'all. Sorry, it's been 3 weeks.
We have a lot of people here that actually own trailers, and they've tried a bunch of them. This is the one that we like, and the reason we like it is because it does the same thing that a hot tub does. You know how you adjust the air pressure?
Uh-huh.
So more air gives it more push because it's pushing air and water through those little holes in your hot tub. So this does the same thing. The air and the pressure and the water together going through the shower head. It is adjustable. 5 spray settings. That you've got a flow control so you can make it, you know, more powerful and less
Mhm,
powerful. Just like a shower head that you would find
And you can
at
turn
your
it
house.
on and off, right? So you can save your
Yes.
water. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, something like this is going to make your shower better, and really, that's where the water pressure is most important. If you're filling up pots and pans, that's not that important. If you're doing dishes, if you're brushing your teeth,
Right. That's
the
what I'm
water
thinking.
pressure is important when you take a shower.
What's the brand and model of that?
This is Oxygenix.
I'm gonna put you on that other camera. Hold it up to that camera over there.
It says Pure Shower Genius, and it is model 92489.
We will also take everything that we've talked about and put it in the comments with links so you can get the exact product that we're talking about. We'll do that right after we're done broadcasting. So,
Yep.
But if you aren't happy with your shower, this is the first thing to do. Don't be taking your water pressure regulator off.
Yep. And because we happen to be at a dealership, if you give Cody or Brooke or
Yeah, you can buy 'em from
Michael
us,
in
too.
the parts department
That's
a
always an
call,
option.
they can take your order over the phone and have it on its way to wherever you're located. So give our parts department a call if you would like.
I see when I get my RV on order.
Yeah.
I can't see your name. It just says Facebook user, but what RV are you getting? I just want to know. Sidebar, what RV are you getting?
Mhm.
All right, continue on.
So, if you want the kind of the most filtered of filtered water in your drink, for like the kitchen sink drinking
Mhm.
water, I have heard, I may have even seen people installing residential reverse osmosis systems.
Mm-hmm. And UV light
Uh huh.
things. There's
Really?
yes. And
Really?
they make systems for
Really?
RVs too. The entire under the sink system that comes with the little water faucet.
Mm-hmm.
And sure they do. And we've actually looked at that, which is really where I came down to the Berkey, because the Berkey seems so easy.
Here we go.
Ooh, you're getting
It's-
a Rockwood Mini Light.
Hi,
It's
Barbara.
Barbara.
2507S Rockwood Mini Light.
I'm looking
Very
it up.
cool.
Sounds cool.
you're welcome to join us at our Texas Tiny Trailer Rally.
Yes. So there's lots of water systems you could use, and I think really it all comes down to how much does it make a difference for you?
Yeah, my problem, I have a reverse osmosis at home.
Mm-hmm.
It, to me, makes me feel better about giving my kids water, but also it seems to do something for coffee.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. Yeah, that
but
makes
my
sense.
problem, my big problem always with reverse osmosis, is a big gripe for me, is reverse osmosis kind of wastes water in the filtration process.
It does. It wastes a lot of water, like 70%.
It's amazing.
Wastes a lot of water trying to get you clean water. So that's where I was excited about the Berkey. It was easy, it was portable, it didn't take up space underneath my counter, which is a real concern if you've got a tiny trailer.
Mhm.
You know, if you've got a 30-foot trailer and you've got tons of storage space, maybe it's less of a big deal. But
Yeah, that under sink storage in particular, there's usually not much. Usually it's like some cleaning supplies
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
well, and then you have to mount it in a way that it's hard to get to it to replace the filters.
Right. And
I don't know. That makes me lean towards the Berkey.
Yeah.
We'll see.
In
I just
Berkey,
like the name Berkey.
I know.
buy it for the name, y'all. Buy
Berkey.
it for the name.
It sounds very Berkey.
Well, I think in the mode of being more low tech, analog, and all that, it makes more sense to have a system
Mhm.
like that when camping.
I think so too. I think so too. Well, how do we figure out what to do when we're camping? We want good drinking water. So many choices.
So
Lots of things.
this
to
is
figure
something
out.
that comes up whenever I camp on, say, my parents' land down 3 hours away. There's no well down there. There's no electricity on the land. There's nothing out there. Which
Okay,
is
so what if
awesome.
you're boondocking? Do
So-
you just carry one of those big things?
So what I do is I fill up the trailer, its tank, but I also take a 5-gallon deal. Is it 5 gallon? It seems like a lot.
Seems like I think it's 2 gallons or something.
I don't know. It's one of those big blue igloo ones. It stands this tall, and it's heavy as heck.
Okay, but Clint, a Berkey, you just set it on the counter. You can put river water in that and it comes out drinkable.
Well, there's no river either. There's
Well-
no well and there's no river.
Spit into it.
Just, just pee into it and hope it does the job.
No!
Stop.
Okay, so
All right.
so here's
My apologies to everyone.
Wait, look, our viewership is going down.
so here's my deal. When I'm filling up my RV tank, I think now after having this conversation, because I always just kind of run my residential outdoor hose for a few minutes to get it good and washed out,
Mhm.
and get the hot water to run cold, and then I fill up
Yeah.
my RV tank. But it tastes all chlorine and hosey.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, if I had one of these just on board for when I do have hookups, why not just run that inline the hose before I even run it into the RV's storage tank?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
That's what I should be doing.
That's what you should be
Fill
doing.
my tank after running it with a filter in line.
Yes, absolutely. That's what you should be doing.
And then my big tank that I always just take in and fill up off of
Mhm.
reverse osmosis.
Yeah, and you know what? When you do that, you can just use. This is another thing that nobody buys here. I wanted to show you because nobody buys this, and well, I say nobody, almost nobody.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. When you're filling your tank, it's so hard to sit there with the hose kind of stuck in the end.
Yeah, and you're going to get wet.
And there's a water fill that you just
let
can
me
turn on
switch
and off
cameras.
here.
Look, I switch cameras.
Can you see that? Can you see the?
Falsetto back.
Oh my goodness. So it's just like a thing. It's just a tube on the end of a on and off switch. So easy, and it's called Quick Fill. But it's you could hook up your filter and
Mhm.
just
And line
hook
it
it
up.
into here and line it up, and it would go in. So easy to use. And
Cody
then,
loves it when I go through the parts department and buy his stuff.
I don't know. I just think it's easy. I always
It's like
thought
a
these
shopping
were.
spree.
I thought these were dumb
Uh-huh.
until I actually started camping.
Uh-huh.
And when you're at the campsite, you want to fill up your tank, and it
Mhm.
comes back at you. You get wet. Your hose is all over the. I don't know. This is just super
So-
easy. I love it.
In between your camping trips, how do you
Mhm.
keep your freshwater tank from getting that funk?
You drain it.
Man, I have.
For one thing, you drain it.
Yeah, I drain and I run that. I mean, I'm doing everything I can think of to get water out of that. But I know I can look at my water tank. It's very visible when I open the cabinets in the trailer I have, and
Mhm.
the
See that little bit at the bottom?
yeah the drain port is right here, and yet
Mhm.
the way they mold these tanks
Mm-hmm.
they kind of mold plastic feet in that are lower than the output. The
Why
outlet.
do they do that?
And so there's always that little bit, and I'm just going, that is the absolute recipe for mold and mildew.
Bacteria
And-
in general, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what do? I don't want the funk, and I don't want the stuff. I don't want the bio stuff growing in
But
there.
you can't get that out.
Well, I didn't grab anything. They do make chemicals that you can put in there and it'll flush out. There are options for that.
Like a
Um,
like a cap full of chlorine or bleach.
Well, be careful with that. The way that's and everybody has their own opinion, but most people recommend a quarter cup in a gallon and then pour that in because you don't want to pour straight bleach in. It's going to get straight bleach all over the connections, all over the rubber grommets.
Mhm.
So cut it down to a quarter cup per gallon and put in about 1 gallon for every 10 gallons that your tank holds. And then fill it up with water and let it sit for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then drain it. The problem with that is that you probably don't want to drain that on your yard. Now, granted, the bleach will be cut enough that it's probably not going to be that bad.
But it's not going to be that good either.
But it's not going to be that
It's
good.
not going to be the
so,
best.
so yeah, so that's the best way to do that. You might want to hit even a dump station, but I think even if you just have had it stored for a long time, leave all the drains open, a lot of it will evaporate.
Uh-huh.
But before you use it again, if it's sat for longer than, a month, 3 or 4 weeks,
That's it.
put a little stuff in there and flush it out. And if nothing else, just flush it.
Yeah.
Just put water in and flush it out before you fill it.
Have you heard
Even
of
if you don't add anything to it.
Have you heard of anything other than the bleach or whatever that people are using? I'm sure that there's products out there that people love.
There are, and there are products out there that have no toxicity at all, but they take longer.
And they don't work as
Yeah,
well.
And
exactly.
it's
No
just-
toxicity.
Bleach is cheap
so-
and easy.
Yeah.
But vinegar also works. It just has to sit a little bit
Ooh,
longer.
and then everything smells like vinegar.
But then you want to flush that out as well. So I think the trick is,
I'm going with straight lemon juice.
yeah, you can go lemon juice, but it has a certain acidity that will help
Uh-huh.
clean things. Will it disinfect it as well? Not quite as well. Just
Okay.
flush it out. If nothing else, flush it out. You're probably not going to be growing too many fuzzy things in there, but that bacteria can multiply.
Okay, so here's another thought. A lot of people out there will, in a pinch, winterize their trailer with vodka.
Well,
What if
that's
you-
not going to be in your water.
What if you
drinking
clean
water.
that out? What if you're using it to kill off the bacteria and mold and all that in your fresh water tank?
That's not going to be.
Maybe you fill it up and just travel with it.
You just have vodka coming out of
Oh,
the faucet.
there's a dad joke in here somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
Well, no, really. I mean, it's alcohol. Surely it would kill off some of the bacteria and all that if you cut it down or whatnot.
Yeah, but like why?
I don't know. I don't like a funky tank.
Oh, right.
Well, we have now gone down to putting vodka in your freshwater tank. Not exactly
Okay,
information that's helpful.
so it's not recommended,
No, it's
I'm
not
gonna put fruit
recommended.
punch in mine.
which is recommended.
Take a shower. And
Hawaiian
fruit
punch. So, all right.
Well, we've covered at least some of the basics. Hope you learned something. Hope there was something that was interesting to you.
And stay hydrated
Yes.
so that
Drink
you can
plenty of
drink
water.
beer and coffee.
Somehow. Yes. Coffee in the morning, beer at night, and water in between. Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't think you left any room for all our wino friends.
Oh, well, I think beer and wine kind of goes together. I mean, that's kind of the same.
Just drink water.
Don't mix beer and wine, y'all.
Have a good weekend.
If you guys have any questions for us, we talk about something that someone has asked about every Friday at noon.
It's true.
So
Ask us good Ask us good. I'm gonna stop talking now.
that's right. Let
We
us
love you, Mike. Mwah. Thank you for joining us.
let us know what your thoughts are, what your questions are, and we'll see you next Friday, right?
That's
Next
the plan.
Friday.
I am so
noon.
glad the team is back.
Yes.
We're on it.
This is way better than sitting at home. So glad to be back.
That's right. All
Okay,
right.
everybody.
Stay safe. Plan a camping trip.
Bye.
Bye. See you next
Bye.
time.